Hey guys, Wink here from Shadow War Podcast, and this week I want to talk to you about the Galactic Republic team led by Padmé Amidala that absolutely wrecks Malak teams. I'm going to tell you what Zetas you need, how to mod the team, how to set it up, because Grand Arena Championships are coming up, and you're going to want something that can reliably take out those Malak teams, and Padmé is the solution if you've got her, and if you don't have her, make sure you get prepared because you're absolutely going to need her next time our event comes up. All right, let's take a look at these Zeta abilities, and I'm going to go through these and talk about them and rank them as I go and tell you why they're so important. The most important Zeta on this team is Padmé Amidala's leader ability, Unwavering Courage. The Zeta ability for this one says, while they have protection up, light side allies resist all debuffs and can't be critically hit. This is super important for multiple reasons, but of course against Darth Revan and Malak teams, there are a lot of debuffs going on and you don't want that happening. The other thing is the critically hit, because they will have a lot of protection up, and them not being able to be critically hit certainly prolongs how long that protection up lasts, and that leads to more stacks of courage, which is the whole idea with this team. Her second Zeta ability, which is not important for this team at all, I'm just going to mention it in passing because it's good against Rebels, it's good against Jedi Knight Revan. It is basically worthless against Malak teams. This protection up can't be prevented or dispelled, and it's increased 40% if Padmé is the leader. So they will get the 10% protection up whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, no matter what. But this just makes it undispellable and knocks up to 40%. It's nice, you know, if Sith Trooper counters or something, but not really that important. Don't worry about it. The second most important Zeta on this team is going to be Jedi Knight Anakin's Righteous Fury Zeta. This is a unique ability that says if Padmé Amidala is an ally, she takes a bonus turn after each of Anakin's bonus turns. This is important because this Zeta is kind of the safety valve of this team. There are a lot of times where you're going to kind of get in a bad position, and this Zeta really takes the team to another level because of, you know, if Anakin is getting full turn meter, it's because somebody dropped below 50% health, and of course, then if Padmé can immediately go, she has a heal and dispel special ability, and she also gets protection up with her basic. So both those are going to help prolong the life of the team, in addition to her other special ability that could then stun somebody and prevent them from inflicting damage. So this Zeta, very important to making this team survive. These next two Zetas are, you could kind of flip-flop in my opinion, but for number 3, I am actually going to go with General Kenobi's Zeta ability. And it says, if all allies are Galactic Republic, General Kenobi taunts for 1 turn whenever another Galactic Republic ally loses any protection up. And of course, there's going to be so much protection up going on with this team because Jedi Knight Anakin, Ahsoka Tano, they give protection up with their special. General Kenobi's going to get it in passing through C-3PO because he gives protection up whenever somebody gains a buff. So whenever General Kenobi gains Foresight or gives Retribution, both of those will also give him protection up, just making him that much more survivable, which is awesome. And of course, you want him taunting to protect Padmé, Ahsoka, and Jedi Knight Anakin. The fourth most important Zeta on this team is going to be Ahsoka Tano's, and this is her Daring Padawan ability that says, if the ally leader is Galactic Republic, Ahsoka is called to assist whenever another Galactic Republic ally uses a special ability. And this is an awesome ability because she will come in and use her basic ability, which dispels the buffs on the enemy, and the, you know, dispelling debuffs on herself isn't particularly important, but like I said, getting rid of taunt on a Malak or a Sith Trooper whenever it's not her turn is going to be pretty important and very nice to have. And those are really the only 4 Zetas that I think you need on this team in order to smash the Malak teams. And, you know, these are Malak teams that, you know, have 6 or 7 Zetas on them. So, you know, you're using less Zetas and still getting the full benefit. I have all the Zetas on this team, but most of them don't really do a whole lot. The 5th Zeta, I would say, for this team against Malak would be C-3PO's Oh My Goodness. and that inflicts confuse twice on target enemy for 30 turns. This is great because of what confuse does. Confuse says 1 stack cannot gain buffs, 2 stacks cannot counter, assist, or gain bonus turn meter. And that is really important because you're definitely going to want them to not be able to gain buffs. So that is a pretty nice luxury Zeta. Not really all that important, especially if you got Ahsoka, because she's going to get rid of the buffs. This just helps prolong the fact that they won't be getting them. You can also just call in Jedi Knight Anakin, and, you know, he will put up buff immunity, hopefully. So those are the Zeta rankings for this team. Now let's go ahead and talk about the mods and the turn order setup for this team. So I'll go ahead and just start from the top, the fastest character, and work my way down, and we'll start with C-3PO. As you can tell, C-3PO, I do have a speed set and a potency set on him because potency is important because you want to inflict the confuse debuff. He has 104% potency. He is 247 speed. Not blazing fast. He's fine. He also gains the 20 speed. This is one thing that I do need to mention because Jedi Knight Anakin's base speed is actually 251, but C-3PO has the 20 speed from his unique abilities, so that obviously factors in to the actual turn order wherever you're looking at this stuff. So this will, of course, make 3PO my fastest character. And really, potency and then some speed, protection, health, whatever, don't really matter because he generally stays stealth. He's not going to get hit much, and if he does get hit, he's probably going to be healed up anyway, so you're not going to worry about C-3PO dying, just potency and speed. The second fastest character that I currently have set up is going to be Jedi Knight Anakin, but you could either go with him or Ahsoka Tano. You kind of get the same effect. It don't particularly matter which one you have second or third fastest. There are merits to both of them, so, you know, do what you do. Jedi Knight Anakin, as you may notice, he does not have a crit damage or an offense set on him. He does have a crit damage primary. It's only there because of the speed, because I wanted him to go before Ahsoka Tano. And, I mean, you're probably, with this team, you're probably better off actually with either an offense primary or what I would prefer is a health primary. And you'll notice he does not have a speed arrow. He has a health arrow. He has a health plus. He has a health circle and 3 health sets. And, you know, he has, you know, some decent secondary health on some of these mods. But for the most part, I was kind of going for, you know, a balance of secondary speed, health, and offense on him because all those things are kind of important for him. But like I said, health, health, health. That is the primary idea here. That is going to be the same with Ahsoka Tano, who, again, has 3 health set bonuses on her. And she has health primary, health primary, health primary, and you guessed it, health primary. She, again, has some decent speed. They could be slower. I've never been in much of a situation where their speeds particularly mattered too much. It's more about, you know, just kind of having them go in the same order, and as it kind of gets going, Anakin and Padmé will kind of sync up as far as turn order goes, just because you'll have the Jedi Knight Anakin Zeta and stuff. But health is the most important thing because, as you know, protection up is based on the base health of the character, and of course the leader ability from Padmé gives a 50% bonus on the health. So the reason these attackers have all this health is because, say, if I add 10,000 health to Ahsoka Tano, that is actually a 15,000 health increase because of that 50% bonus from Padmé. And then whenever you start getting into stacks of protection up, they will start getting a lot of stacks of protection up. Not uncommon to see, say, Ahsoka with 6 stacks of protection up at 10% each. So you get 60% protection up. That is pretty considerable, you know, whenever you start looking at her total health pool. I mean, so if she, let's see, she has 45,000 health modded the way I have her. So she has almost 70,000 total health. And of course, getting 60% of that. That is a pretty nice chunk of, you know, extra health pool that she has, that just makes her that much more survivable, that much more health that they will have to go through to kill her. And I'll talk a little bit more about the mechanics of this whenever we actually get into the battles, but health is extremely important. Next is General Kenobi, and on him, that is the only thing I care about is health. I have the 3 health set bonuses. I have the 4 health primaries. And all of these mods, whenever I put them on him, I sorted them by, well, say the health percent primaries. I sorted them by flat health secondaries and put the most health on him that I possibly could. That was really the only thing I was looking for with him. I really didn't care about speed. I didn't care about anything besides health. And I'll be talking about this here shortly. He's 199 speed, so I mean, he is not blazing fast by any stretch of the imagination. I sacrificed a lot of speed to get more health on him because it's absolutely crucial to making this team work. Next is Padmé Amidala. She is the slowest character on this team at 195 speed for me, and you'll notice that she has an offense set with an offense primary. The reason being, she can't be feared. So whenever you get the team down to, your team versus Malak, which is pretty easy to do, as you'll see, you want Padmé doing damage. I mean, she will be able to attack every single time, and of course, stacks of courage don't really do anything to Malak, so you want to do as much damage as possible, and he will quickly get to where he has so much crit avoidance that you're not going to crit him, and, getting to that point isn't terribly difficult. So that is why I focus so much on the offense and secondary offense and secondary health on Padmé. For a while, I tried potency primary on her just because the stuns didn't particularly make a difference. This, I think, is the best way to mod her as far as I'm concerned. Lots of offense, lots of health, not caring about speed. My Padmé has 5,200 physical offense, so she does pretty good damage whenever she attacks. Really, really helps with taking down those pesky Malaks. So let's go ahead and jump into some actual battle footage and see how that goes. All right, first battle here is going to be against a basically completely maxed Darth Revan team with all the Zetas, all the bells and whistles, Gear 12 Malak. I mean, this is a really good team. Right here, I'm going to pause the video, and as you will see, all these debuffs are standing here. It's Padmé's turn. She's about to go, but there are debuffs everywhere. People are stunned, they're shocked. This is the idea of the team, is you want all these debuffs because of what her special ability does. She gives additional stacks of protection up based on the number of debuffs dispelled. So this optimizes the amount of protection up that you get, which then will maximize the amount of stacks of courage you get whenever your characters actually go. So, and because of that leader Zeta, there are no debuffs being inflicted. All right, so on C-3PO's turn, what I did here was I called in Anakin. Honestly, one thing that I have found is I think it's more beneficial to call in Padmé because she then gives additional stacks of protection up. This is especially true if you have Ahsoka's, if you have the Zeta on Ahsoka, because she's going to come in, she's going to get rid of those buffs. Just go ahead and try to get three stacks of translation on Padmé, because then you will get her specials up and running even faster, reducing the cooldowns whenever C-3PO uses his basic ability. That's really important for this team. All right, so I got rid of the taunt on Sith Trooper, and now it's Anakin's turn, and as you can tell, he has 20 stacks of courage, which is going to be a 160% health damage to whoever I target. Even if I use his AoE, it's based on who he targets where the damage goes. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to target Fallen Bastila, and look at that. Full health, full protection, and she's gone. And not only that, but that then gives more protection up to everyone else, and now it's Ahsoka Tano's turn, and she has offense up, crit chance up, and 20 stacks of courage. Now, I was kind of unfortunate. This is the only bad thing about using Anakin's AoE here. This, I think, is the argument for putting Ahsoka Tano first, is the fact that you won't have him AoE and make Malak taunt, because that is kind of a problem, because typically here I would want to use her special on HK-47 because he's got Assassinate ready, and I don't want him to take out General Kenobi. That would be very bad. But I'll go ahead and do that and give stacks of protection up, which he does. So now that it's General Kenobi's turn, what I am going to do is I'm going to do a mass attack on HK-47 because I've got to get him taken out. Now it's Padmé's turn, and the benefit of doing that AoE, it may seem kind of worthless, just because, you know, I have two characters with fear, one that does, you know, one character doesn't even attack, so the only person getting called in is Padmé, but that's going to give more protection up, which is always good. I'm always in favor of more protection up here. And then she's able to take out HK-47. So now it's 5 versus 3 very easily. That is generally how these matches go. Is you're able to take out Bastila Fallen and HK pretty easily. And of course, right there, I hit Darth Revan, and of course he is going to balance his health with the other healthiest character, which is very annoying. All right, so let's go ahead and take out him. And now it's 5 versus 1. And this is the spot you want to be in. Because, I mean, this is a... You know, with everything that this team has, you know, all the protection up, all the, you know, the debuffs and the stuns and the heals and everything, you're in a really good spot. Even if... Malak does his special ability where he steals 100% health, you're going to have protection up. So it's not particularly much of an issue because you're going to have protection up. If you're at full health with any protection up, you're not going to die whenever he does that ability. And then you're just back to stacking up protection up and trying to gain buffs as often as possible to make General Kenobi survive. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this next video. This is a little bit different team. This is Dark Diggler's team in my arena. His mods are absolutely freaking ridiculous, speed-wise. I can't even remember how fast all his characters are. I think his Bastila Shan has plus 161, plus 159, I think, on Darth Malak and Darth Revan. I mean, this is about as jacked of a team as you're probably going to find. And Sith Marauder changes things up a little bit. You don't have to worry about HK-47 just wiping someone off the planet, which is great. I prefer fighting teams with Marauder over HK just because, you know, if HK can kind of screw you up in the beginning on occasion, although it is pretty rare. One thing I do like to do sometimes is, of course, stun Darth Revan, because you know how annoying he can be. Once you stun him, he's not going to be able to do fear or anything. You do kind of want to be careful, though, taking out Darth Revan, just because whenever he balances that health, you know, Malak could turn around and steal health or attack and take out like General Kenobi or something. I have that happen on occasion, and it can be very annoying because, you know, once you lose somebody, it does make the battle quite a bit more difficult. But fortunately with this team, it is pretty easy to get it down to a 5v1. And, you know, really once you're in a 5v1 situation, you're in a great spot just because of all the health regen and everything. And again, you want to make sure that you have those 3 stacks of translation on Padmé because it is very beneficial. So I think I've got 3 more battles here that I'm going to show. And you'll kind of get an idea of kind of what I'm doing, you know, just kind of letting all these debuffs stack up and then clear them, get rid of the Taunt-Off Trooper. It's kind of the same pattern over and over, which allows for a lot of consistency. And that is the thing I like about this team, is just how reliable it is. I mean, I really don't have a problem, traveling up an arena. I've been, like I said, using this team for quite a while. And, it's really great that you can use all these health primaries and all the secondary health and put on these teams and not be sacrificing all of your speed, that you have on these other teams. That's why I think this team is so important for Grand Arena, because there aren't a whole lot of other teams like it. You have General Grievous. He's about the only other one that really has this type of mechanic where these, Wampa's another one probably where health is just so unbelievably important. But even with Wampa, health or speed's kind of important. With this team, you just don't really worry about it too much. The only issue that you can have with running that low of speed is sometimes getting into a situation where there's a Malak that's so fast that can take multiple turns to every one of your turns, because they do, that special debuff that they get that gives them the 15 speed for each debuff. That can really throw a wrench in things for sure. And that is, that'll be very, very annoying. I think this will go ahead and be the last video that I show you guys. I hope that you guys will leave some comments, hit the like button if you like this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Discord.me/shatteredorder if you want to come in there and chat. We have a whole section for mods, and you want to go throw in there and show off what awesome health mods you got, go for it, because I don't think enough people focus on these health primaries, especially the 6-dot health primaries. I think it's the most important mod to be slicing up. They're great for so many different characters, and they give such a big benefit for the ones who do use it. So that's primarily what I've been focusing on, is just slicing up health primaries. And yeah, so check out, hit the subscribe button. Of course, listen to the podcast every week. We do a 2-hour podcast just talking about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, talking about strategy stuff like this. I've been talking about this team for a couple weeks, finally decided to make a video on it. And like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and will subscribe and leave your feedback below. Thank you. Later.